How do you perceive the festival atmosphere at Arndt Film Fest compared to other festivals?
Well, first of all, this festival in high summer, so it's incredibly nice weather, and so that makes always my mood better. And then, of course, to be here and watch so great films is totally, absolutely class, very, very highly appreciated by me. I mean, I go to a lot of festivals, and often I don't get to see so many films, but here I really can take the time and watch films that I missed and other films that I can actually discover.
Great. Have you tried any Slovak food or drinks?
Of course, beer, nonetheless, and I also tried the dumplings.
How did you like them?
The dumplings were great, and the beer is, of course, fantastic. I mean, you have a large variation, very good beers, and absolutely underestimated internationally, I would say. So,
we're so glad to hear this. Is there anything else you would like to see or experience during your stay here in Slovakia?
If I would have had time, I would definitely like to travel a bit more around because there's some really I'm very interested in old buildings and castles and all this kind of stuff. So, and this is of course the center because there's a lot of stuff here to discover that I haven't really seen yet, except for on pictures. So.
Is this your first visit to Slovakia?
No, I've been to Slovakia quite a few times before, but this is the first time to Košice. Yes.
How do you like this city?
I think it's a beautiful size of city. I mean, it's not too big, not too small. I grew up in a very small city, but this would be a city that I could definitely live in, I think. So.
Have you had time to see any other films from the program?
Yes, of course. I came here to watch films. So I've seen perhaps, I think, between 15 and 20 films. So.
Which one did you like the most, or you recommend to watch for audience?
Well, I think there's. I am a very versatile person, and I like a lot of different type of movies. But the one that surprised me the most was actually the Slovak opening film, which I had not expected that it would be such a great film. And I think it's not a perfect film, but it's absolutely a very wonderful film to watch. And I would have loved to be the producer on that film, I can tell you. But I would have made some changes, but I think it was a really interesting film. So,
what was your main vision when creating this year's short film selection?
Well, we curated one program. We wanted originally to curate two programs, but in the end it only worked out with one program. And I think the film are a bit dark in this program, which I don't mind because I am not a very funny person. I like this dark tone in the films, but perhaps the audience is not really prepared for this. And I think any festival audience, which is already a very targeted audience, a very intelligent and known audience, especially for short films, I think they understand this. But I think next time, if I would do it again, I would have a bit of a larger variety, and I would certainly choose more than one program, because if you make, like in China, when you make 30,000 films per year, which is an incredible number, of course 4 films that we present here cannot represent everything. So.
How did you come across this particular film?
This was 4 films that we saw in this program. So, and I also want to say a big thanks to my partner in this program, Ting Wang, who did this. She could unfortunately not be here with us this time because we're shooting a new film in China, and she had to take care of that. But how I came across these particular films is that my partner and me, we produce in China, and we also distribute the Chinese films that we bring to Europe. So we make a selection of the films that we get offered, and then we just pick what we like and what we think is also watchable for a non-Chinese audience. So.
What spoke to you about these 4 films so strongly that you decided to include it in the selection?
Well, the first film, or not only the first film, but they are quite experimental, I think. And where the first view of the films, you perhaps don't understand all of it, but I think it gives you a thought you think about the films, and it keeps you occupied for a bit longer than just watching one film. And this is really not easy accessible art, I would say. Jahao's film, for instance, People, it's not an easy film to watch, but still I think that you can get a lot out of it if you just let yourself be carried away by the images, by the feeling, and by how to interpret the film. And it is up to you to do this. So.
In your view, how has the taste of short film audiences changed in recent years?
I think the short film audience is, as I mentioned before, a very targeted or a very intelligent audience. They are more than just cinema goers. They know and they understand film in a different way. And this is also what you need, actually, because short films are totally differently made than feature films. And a short film is not a short film just because it's short, but it has a special storyline, a special way of telling a story. Because you have to say everything in a very short period of time. But you can do that in any way you want. And this is what's so fascinating for me about short films.
How did you personally get into curating, and what fascinates you the most about this work?
Okay, I'm not a curator per se. I curate programs if I'm being asked and if I do it, but nowadays I'm a producer, so I produce films. But I also give a lot of feedback, so I tutor. I help young filmmakers to improve their films. Once they have shot it or once they're still in production, I tell them this is good, and this is not so good. Perhaps we should change this. And I can assure you that this is what they need and they also appreciate, because the films that I then make or together with the young filmmakers, they get good reviews and they are being seen at important festivals.
What are your plans into the future?
Well, I'm working on a number of new projects, not only from China, but I'm working with one Iranian filmmaker. We're going to make a feature-length fiction film. And I'm working in Latvia, in Riga, where I live. I'm working with a filmmaker. We're going to make a feature-length documentary about a mountaineer. And then I will, in the autumn, we will start shooting also a new film in China, feature-length film. So.